How do you know when your cat is bored? That question hit me hard, especially lately. Cats absolutely can get bored, and not in the flop on the couch, scroll through your phone kind of way. They don't groan or complain. Instead, their boredom shows up in sneaky little behaviors you might already be seeing every day, without realizing what they really mean. So if you've ever felt a twinge of guilt wondering whether your cat's daily routine might be missing something, stay with me. Because today, we're going deep into the signs that your cat is bored, and more importantly, how you can fix it. Let's start with something that drives cat parents everywhere a little nuts: destruction. You walk into the room, and there's your cat, cool as can be, sitting beside something that's just been knocked off the shelf. You can almost hear them thinking, "Gravity still works. Cool." Next, from climbing impossible heights to knocking over plants or tearing into furniture, it's easy to write it all off as mischief. But what you're actually seeing is boredom in motion. These little acts of chaos are your cat's way of creating excitement in a world that feels too still. They're not trying to ruin your day, they're trying to add something to theirs. But it doesn't stop there. If you have more than one cat, or even a dog, you might start noticing changes in how they treat each other. Maybe a once peaceful cat starts stalking or ambushing their siblings, especially in tight spaces like near the litter box. That little butt wiggle before they pounce? It's not aggression, it's hunting behavior. They don't hate their housemate, they've just turned them into a stand-in for a squeaky toy. This is boredom, using whoever's available for entertainment. Then, it starts to get personal. You're working, typing, focused, and suddenly, your cat lands squarely on your keyboard. Or they plant themselves between you and the screen, meowing non-stop, pawing at your clothes, chewing your hair, rolling over in dramatic poses like they're auditioning for a ballet. It's not about food. It's not even about misbehavior. It's a clear, creative request. Please interact with me. And you've probably felt it. Those soft paws patting your face while you're lying in bed. That's their version of a child tugging at your sleeve. A silent nudge that says, "I'm bored, look at me." There's also what some call flirt behavior. Your cat rolls onto their back, stretches dramatically, makes themselves look adorably irresistible. But it's not just cute, it's calculated. A performance designed to pull you in and get your attention. But among all the signs, the one that startles most people is play aggression. You're walking through the house, and out of nowhere, your ankle is ambushed. Your cat explodes from beneath the table like a stealth missile aimed at your foot. It could be you, the dog, your child. To an outsider, it looks like sudden rage, but it's not. This is hunting behavior disguised as chaos. When cats don't get enough mental stimulation or appropriate play outlets, they go for the next best thing: movement. To your cat, your foot has just become prey. And while it might seem funny in the moment, it's actually one of the clearest signals that your cat's inner hunter is starving, not for food, but for stimulation. And this is where things start to turn. When boredom simmers for too long, it crosses into what behaviorists call the overs. Overgrooming is one of the most heartbreaking signs. At first, it's just more licking than usual. Then suddenly you notice bald patches, red skin, raw spots. When cats feel powerless in their environment, they start controlling the one thing they can, their own body. Grooming becomes a coping mechanism, a way to channel anxiety when the world feels too empty. And then there's overeating. Some bored cats eat simply because it's something to do. You might catch them scarfing down their food too fast, only to vomit it up minutes later. Or they gain weight because eating becomes their primary source of stimulation. Of course, medical causes should always be ruled out first, but don't ignore the emotional side of these behaviors. Cats won't leave you notes saying they're bored. They won't sit you down to ask for more playtime. But if you look closely, the signs are there: quiet, subtle, and easy to miss. And when boredom builds up unchecked, it often turns into stress, frustration, or even destructive behavior. But it's totally fixable. You don't need a giant budget, a fancy pet room, or a PhD in feline psychology. You just need to understand what your cat is telling you and know how to respond with the right kind of enrichment. Let's start with the basics, right now, with what you already have at home. A cardboard box, for instance, can become a playground. Cut a few holes in it, toss in a crumpled paper ball or a hidden treat, and suddenly, it's a miniature adventure zone. Even old paper bags or access to different window views can become sources of excitement. Add a window perch, and the world outside turns into entertainment. A bird feeder transforms a quiet afternoon into high-stakes drama, what many call cat TV. It may seem simple to us, but for your cat, it's a front-row seat to everything wild and wonderful. Of course, classic toys still matter. Feather wands, puzzle feeders, and anything that mimics hunting behavior help your cat reconnect with their primal side. They're not just distractions. They activate the chase, the stalk, the pounce. And when you provide those moments, you're doing more than keeping them busy. You're honoring who they are. But there's one form of enrichment that beats them all. It's you. Your attention, your presence, your willingness to play, even just for 5 minutes a day, can completely shift your cat's emotional world. Whether it's brushing them, tossing a toy, or simply sitting beside them and talking, your cat notices. They crave that connection. Because when you're really present, they feel it, and they respond. That's why the way you play matters. If your cat isn't engaging, it might not be the toy. It might be how it's moving. Prey equals play. Move the toy like a bird, like a mouse, like something alive. Let your cat stalk it, lose it, find it again. Make it feel real. Once you do that, you'll see a transformation. And then there's catification. Don't let the term scare you. It's not about turning your home into a cat amusement park. It's about vertical space, cozy nooks, and places your cat can truly claim. Shelves, tunnels, perches, little paths of discovery. Combine these with active play, and suddenly your living room becomes a feline obstacle course. For your cat, that's not just fun, it's fulfillment. A catio might be your next step. It doesn't need to be fancy. A small secure window box or a screened balcony lets your cat enjoy the breeze, the smells, the sounds of the outside world, safely. It's freedom with boundaries. If all that still feels like a lot, simplify. A bird feeder, a sunlit bed, a 5-minute play session after dinner, rotate toys, change something small. Because even the tiniest shift can make a world of difference. And you know what else can shift the vibe? Mixing up the routine. Yes, cats love predictability, but every now and then, they love a surprise just as much. So go ahead, break the routine in a fun way. Toss a toy down the hallway out of nowhere. Start a play session when they least expect it. Bring out a toy they haven't seen in weeks. A little unpredictability? That's how you keep life exciting. Now, before we wrap up, there's something important that needs to be said, and it might be a little uncomfortable to hear, but here it is. The biggest reason cats stay bored isn't a lack of toys, or space, or even time. It's us. We get busy, we're tired, there are meetings to attend, dishes to wash, messages to reply to. Life gets loud, and in the middle of all that noise, it's easy to overlook the quiet presence of a cat simply waiting for attention, for interaction, for something more. Every time the thought crosses your mind, I just don't have time right now, pause for a moment, because a bored cat isn't a lazy cat. A bored cat is a brilliant, instinct-driven creature with nowhere to put that brilliance. And when that energy has nowhere to go, it finds a way out, sometimes in shredded curtains, toppled plants, midnight zoomies, or that distant, unblinking stare from across the room. So the next time you find your favorite mug shattered on the floor, try not to jump straight to frustration. Ask yourself instead, was my cat trying to tell me something? Because chances are, they were. The truth is, this isn't about doing everything perfectly. We don't need to fix everything overnight, but we can start paying attention. We can take small, meaningful steps each day to enrich our cat's life in ways that matter. This isn't about spoiling your cat. It's about meeting their emotional and mental needs, just as we do with children, with loved ones, and with ourselves. So go ahead, play with your cat, talk to them, teach them something new, build a perch by the window, change up their routine.